to my party. We're just getting started.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast. Absolute episode 386. We're talking Superman spoiler-filled review. I'm Matt.
I am Lance.
Holy crap. Who is this new guy here?
Dude, it's been a minute, hasn't it?
It's been longer than a minute, my friend.
I was just thinking that,
Been holding
when we
it
were
down
setting
by
up.
myself.
I know. When we were setting up, I was like, dude, I feel like I'm a virgin again when it comes to this born-again virgin, podcast virgin.
Well, you gotta pop that cherry again sometime, right?
Yeah, so excuse me if I forget some of our formalities and shit.
But what's up? How you been, man?
I'm good, brother. It's just got back from up north. Took the kids and my wife to my parents' place up in Pine Top, and we were there for about a week and came back home to this blistering heat. Kind of want to go back to Pine Top. Dude, I wish I lived there, honestly. This heat is
so boring.
Dude, I don't leave my house as it is, but at least it'd be cooler.
Time. There's a whole world out there for you, Lance.
Dude, I leave my house for errands, concerts, and movies and work. That's about it.
So you just leave your house to go outside to go right back inside.
Yep.
Got it.
Yep. During the summer, at least. During the winter, I try to be outside as much as I can, but in the summer, man, stay in that AC.
Nice.
So what about you, man? Like I've been watching all the wrestling clips and with the guys, and you've been pretty active on TikTok too, I see.
I haven't for a while. I was doing clips on there for the wrestling show, and I've kind of everything in this hobby is expensive, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Doing what I can't remember what software it was, Opus Clips or whatever, and doing clips that gets expensive and all that. So I was just trying to do that, but been growing the channel. Just putting out content as much as possible, man. Pretty much.
Yeah, and wasting away. It looks like I can see your faces getting quite svelte, if that's the correct word. You're looking good, man.
You should see the bat wings under my arms and all that. So.
Yeah, I've lost a little, not nearly as much as you, and even I've got some of that bat wing shit going on.
So,
but bro, this summer's gonna be awesome when it comes to comics and fucking movies, and this is like the best summer I feel like we've had since like COVID.
Yeah, it's exciting times for our genre, anyways, pop culture, comics, and all that. But we'll see. I was hoping for a little bit more out of San Diego Comic-Con, but it's not really looking to be very promising this year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, when do you go? Like in 2 weeks?
Not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So the 22nd.
Yeah, I wanted to go with you, but my work's been freaking crazy. And damn, I've only ever been to one.
Next year's the one to go to, I think, man, because you're gonna have
Doomsday.
You're gonna have Avengers, Doomsday, and Secret Wars. They're gonna be talking about the cast of I'm assuming the cast of X-Men. So Marvel's gonna be coming strong to San Diego. That's kind of why they didn't this year, because they pushed Doomsday back to like November of next year. So they have a whole nother con cycle. So they're like, screw it, we'll just skip this year and go back next year. But hopefully Marvel TV will be well represented this year at San Diego. We'll see.
Do you feel like they're kind of going back to the con instead of, because before they were really heavy in San Diego Con, and then they started putting more of their stuff in D23. Do you feel like they're kind of welcoming the con again and not doing as much as D23, or
I mean, they only really did that one big presentation at D23 during COVID, because they came back. They skipped the year after COVID, and then they came back with a vengeance the last 2 years. and then now
Yeah.
they're skipping this year too. But I just think there's really nothing to talk about other than Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars and Fantastic Four. I'm actually kind of surprised they're not doing a screening for Fantastic Four like they did for Deadpool and Wolverine last year, seeing how it comes out that weekend. But I
Do
don't
you
know.
feel like maybe they're not as confident in Fantastic Four like they were with Deadpool?
I really think that the state of things is playing into that, like how bad Captain America Brave New World did. Then of course, how I don't know what's going on with Ironheart. Like we're gonna talk about Ironheart too, and I really liked Ironheart, and there's a lot of like fake reviews out there. If you look, like there's a lot of reviews that say the exact same thing, like they've just been copied and
Oh, I've
pasted
seen
by
it.
different people. Um,
And not just reviews, but comments on the social media sites too. Like it just seems like they're just rinse and repeat the
yeah,
same bullshit.
and a lot of them are verbatim the same thing. Like I've seen 3 different ones that all start out with the final nail in the coffin. Where do I even begin? And they're all like they all start the same way. So, and then some of them are people who haven't even watched it. This show looks so bad, I refuse to even watch it. What do you then why are you leaving a review on something you haven't seen? But
Yeah.
and even Thunderbolt,
That
which was by all intents and purposes a really good movie and had a really great word of mouth campaign, that
mhm.
didn't that failed to make money, and so they're looking at it as a failure. So I think Marvel's really just kind of playing damage control right now, and I I think that's why you're seeing Robert Downey Jr. come back. You're seeing them kind of go for broke, and now you're getting all the old OG X-Men and Doomsday and all the Doomsday stuff, and they're brought back to Russo's because I really think they're going for broke, especially if the rumors of Feige leaving after Secret Wars are true and him going to do something else after Secret Wars. I think they're going for broke
Oh,
to
I
try
haven't heard
and
that.
get back. Yeah, that's that's the rumor. It was that because Kathleen Kennedy's leaving Star Wars, and then it was that Kevin Feige was going to leave Marvel after X-Men,
To
but
go to
now they're
Star
saying
Wars?
no, just to go do other stuff. That he was going to step down and hand Marvel over to somebody else, and then now the word is it's going to be after Secret Wars instead of X-Men. So that's probably all this bullshit is probably aging him significantly. So
Yeah, dude. I was just looking up based on what you said about Thunderbolts, 382 million worldwide is
yeah,
all it did.
yeah.
And I gotta say, dude, like since COVID, and I'm trying to think of what's come out after COVID.
Lots of stuff.
That's got to be the best Marvel movie that I think it's come out. Yeah, or no? Did No Way Home come out after COVID?
No, No Way Home came out before COVID.
It did.
I think.
Okay,
Or
so
no,
not including No Way
or was it
Home.
during COVID? I can't remember. I can't. When did No Way Home come out? 2019? So that would have been right before that would have been at the start of COVID, right before COVID.
I feel like it was during COVID.
2021. So yeah, it was during COVID.
Yeah, so excluding No Way Home, Thunderbolts has to be the best Marvel property, Marvel movie at least, that I've seen since COVID.
Yeah, because you had Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, you had Thor Love and Thunder, you had Moon Knight, She-Hulk, what else? Miss Marvel, The
Loki
Marvels,
season 2.
Loki season 2. I mean, I did a video the other day ranking all of Phase 5 stuff. Deadpool Wolverine. It's the best movie since Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh,
I
hands
think
down. I mean,
I think
that's only a
Deadpool
year though
Wolverine
past.
Deadpool Wolverine was like the biggest like box office success Marvel has had since No Way Home.
Do you think it has less to do with Marvel fatigue? Because we know it's not superhero fatigue because Deadpool made $1 billion. Superman is on track to do 200 million, I think, this weekend.
And they're still saying that that's going to be considered a failure.
They're insane.
$200 million is still going to be a box office failure. And I think that's why DC isn't really having much representation at San Diego, because there's nothing. The Matt Reeves, the Batman 2, they just announced there's a script for it, but there's nothing else. And I really think that DC, Warner Brothers DC, was holding back, and they're like, with all the buzz and stuff that was going on about Superman, and even now, like, this Superman stuff, the politics behind it is absolutely insane. And how you have, like, if you like the movie, you're a Zack Snyder, you're a shill and you're getting paid for your reviews. If you hate the movie, you're a Zack Snyder loyalist. It's like you can't win. Whether you like or hate this movie, you can't win. So it's really interesting, kind of the landscape that this movie is playing in.
Dude, it's crazy. Like the people that I've seen that hate the movie don't understand the character at all. Like the stuff that I've been seeing about his suit, or I posted something on Facebook about Guy Gardner's hair. Everybody's flipping out about Guy Gardner's hair. Like they don't understand the comics.
Well,
but
I mean, it looked less like a bowl cut and more like it was cut by Edward Scissorhands.
But yeah,
it's
but they
still
made
like,
it more ridiculous on purpose.
yeah.
And it's Nathan Fillion. He's going to lean into it.
Sure.
Right. But all the stuff I've been seeing, it's just people that don't, I don't know. Anybody that says that Henry Cavill's Superman was better than this doesn't understand the character. Like,
No,
I just,
yeah, Henry Cavill's was a lot more darker. This is kind of the return to the truth, justice, and the American way Superman, the very hopeful Superman in a lot of aspects.
and the flawed Superman too, right? Like he stumbles. It wasn't. I felt like when I watched Henry Cavill's Superman, it's everything that he came in contact with, he just was like a bulldozer going through it. And we saw this Superman fail and stumble in his relationship, in his fights, in his personal life, like everything. We saw him second guess himself. Like we didn't really see those character flaws in, Superman has to have those moments of weakness as far as on his human side, right? Because he is so powerful of a superhero, superhuman, or metahuman, or whatever you want to call it. He has to have those weaknesses, whereas Henry Cavill didn't really feel like he had those weaknesses, right?
Yeah. But back to what I was saying, though, is I think that's why San Diego, DC, it doesn't, because they could capitalize. They could have capitalized this year with Marvel leaving and could said, all right, cool, we'll take Hall H, we'll give you everything
all
we
the
got.
stops.
Right. And so all they have is Peacemaker. So they're doing a Hall H Saturday night panel for Peacemaker now in the Marvel time slot, I believe. But that's it.
Yeah.
Like, because they haven't announced who's playing Batman yet. And James Gunn's even said, well, I don't really know. I'm confused by the character. I don't know how to handle the character. It feels like every Batman story has been told. And to me, that's a comment from someone who just doesn't understand Batman, because that's not the case. There's still a lot of fantastic Batman stories out there that could be told. The Court of Owls, Death of the Family, Death in the Family. Like there's a lot of, I know they kind of mixed and matched some of those and mashed those in, but there's still a lot of good Batman stuff out there that could be told. Hush has not been told yet, but I think that they could have capitalized on this. And I think really the negative, because Superman rumors have been out there for months, and plot leaks and the full script leaked and all that. So
Yeah.
I think they were worried by the negative remarks about Superman and that it wasn't going to do well. So they're not putting all their money into these movies anymore, and they're being cautiously optimistic. And I think it's sad that even with Superman on track to make $200 million, they're going to consider that a failure if that's the case.
But that's
then,
opening weekend. Like
right.
that is more than half of what Thunderbolts did internationally.
Yeah.
Its entire box office run. Like, how is that a failure? James Gunn, I think, said this movie doesn't need to make $1 billion to be a success. I think it just has to make 400 million. Like that's to make their money back on it. And that's all he wants from it, which I don't get it, man. Like my movie theater was packed.
So was mine. And I went to
yeah.
an early show. I went to the Amazon Prime show on Tuesday night.
Yeah, it was packed, man. And I go to a theater that's never packed like that. I haven't seen it packed like that since probably No Way Home or Deadpool, maybe was the last time I saw it packed like that. So I don't know. I'm bullish on Superman, but I think judging by the amount of people that were in the theater, that maybe we're experiencing less of superhero fatigue and we're experiencing more of Marvel or Disney fatigue, because Disney hasn't had a real blockbuster in a while. And Deadpool sold because he's Deadpool. Like my parents watch the Deadpool movies and don't watch any of the other movies. Like Deadpool's a different animal, I think.
I think it's more that the world has changed again. And we're in a time where people don't want your agenda shoved down their throats. And Disney's kind of had that agenda, and now they're backing away from it a little bit. And I don't think it's so much superhero fatigue as it is bad writing fatigue. And now everybody's on the internet, everybody's got a voice, and like they're not afraid to call it out anymore. And nobody's going to be nice for the sake of being nice. Like they're going to let you know if the movie sucks. And for all intents and purposes,
Thunderbolts
like
did not.
Thunderbolts
did not
really, really good. Thunderbolt, but also since COVID, I think can be credited to completely screwing the world up, because now where it used to take 3, 4 to 6 months for a movie to go from the theaters to to digital to physical media, it's weeks now.
Yeah.
So it's like you look at, and you still have a movie like Sinners is still playing in theaters, and it just came out on HBO Max, and it's been out on, like, you could buy it digitally for a long time. A lot of movies, the new Karate Kid just came to digital. So it's like you wait maybe a month or two, sometimes less, and these movies are on digital and you can watch them at home.
Yeah, I was reading online, Disney has a 2-month to digital. So from theatrical release, 2 months later is when they go digital. So Lilo and Stitch should be dropping July 23rd, I think is what I read online, because my kids have been begging for it to be able to watch it in the house.
And isn't that crazy that, like, in a year of superhero movies where we've had 2 of them already in Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts, that your top grossing movies were the Minecraft movie and Lilo and Stitch?
Yeah, I gotta admit to you, I've watched all of them. Thunderbolts is by far my favorite. Not Superman might be my favorite, but out of all the Disney stuff, Lilo and Stitch was great.
It was fun. It was fantastic. There's
Yeah.
certain little tweaks that I didn't care for, but it was overall the best, like, live action adaptation of an animated movie. Well, that was until How to Train Your Dragon came out. How to Train Your Dragon was perfection.
Haven't watched that one yet. That one's like shot for shot, isn't it?
Pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty much perfection. They change a couple of things, but How to Train Your Dragon was by far perfection. But the Minecraft movie was just stupid, and I think the Minecraft movie really took off.
I enjoyed it.
It became a social media phenomenon with the chicken jockey and just people getting arrested and kicked out of theaters and all that craziness. But
I watched it with the boys, and I got to tell you, I enjoyed it thoroughly. And I have absolutely zero relationship with the source material. And just to see how much they loved it, because my boys have watched it probably 10, 15 times, because we bought it on demand on Prime. And watching them, how much they loved it, made me like it even more. I thought with all the Jack Black controversy, Kyle Gass controversy, I thought it was going to flop, honestly. And dude, we went to what movie came out at the same time that came out? It might have been Sinners that I went to go see. And Minecraft came out.
It might have been. I can't remember what came out at the same time as Minecraft.
I saw it was opening weekend for Minecraft, so all the other movies were like empty. Minecraft was like dominating everything. I saw so many teenage boys in blue t-shirts, like
they're Steve,
dressing up as Steve, and like blue t-shirts where they covered logos in blue duct tape to make them all blue, or they flipped them inside out. Like they were carrying Minecraft pickaxes and stuff. Like I have not seen anything like that, I think, since Lord of the Rings. Like going to the midnight showing of the Two Towers.
It probably
and seeing
Star
all these
Wars.
people dressed Star Wars. Yeah. Minecraft had that level of engagement from their hardcore fans like Star Wars or Lord of the Rings. It was wild.
It absolutely became a social media like trend to go and act a fool at the chicken jockey part. But
we watched it in my living room, and the boys, as soon as the lava chicken scene, when he sings that song, they screamed it as if they've heard it 100 times. Like they were singing along. They knew when it was coming. They'd never seen the movie before. They knew when it was coming and screaming at the TV. And I had my nieces and nephews. So I had about 10 kids in my living room watching this movie. And they all screamed that song as soon as it came on the screen. I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
You know?
But I just think it's been weird for the box office. And I think too, the writer's strike, like we went through that writer's strike and actor's strike. And I remember saying it before, like, okay, pay these writers, but if they're not going to come out and give us quality movies after this, people are going to get pissed. And I think that's kind of what it is they're tired of paying, the world is a different place. Money's harder to come by. They're tired of paying their hard-earned money to go sit and watch a shit movie, and they could just watch it at home when it comes on one of the many streaming platforms they already pay for.
I got to tell you though, Thunderbolts feels like it should have been, I don't know.
But Thunderbolts,
it was written perfectly.
Thunderbolts sacrificed because of how bad Captain America Brave New World was. The writing and reshoots on Captain America Brave New World were so bad that it completely, I think, turned people off to Thunderbolts because they didn't know what it was going to be. They didn't know who the Thunderbolts were. I think if Marvel would have leaned into calling it the New Avengers sooner, the Avengers name would have drawn people. But they didn't know, the casual didn't know what the Thunderbolts was going to be. And their marketing for it wasn't that great because they really didn't even start pushing Thunderbolts until well into Captain America Brave New World. Kind of the same thing with Fantastic Four. They were getting hammered for Thunderbolts, so they weren't pushing Fantastic Four, and then it seemed like they went all in on Fantastic Four as of recently. But and I'm ecstatic because everything I've heard, because I guess they showed the first 30 minutes of the movie in Brazil. Everything I've read and heard online, the movie is going to be incredible. So I'm super stoked for that.
Oh, dude, I bought my tickets weeks ago, and I bought Superman tickets 3 days before the movie came out. Well, I was texting with you when I was going to go see it. I've been more excited about Fantastic Four. I really hope it doesn't let me down. Fantastic Four is one of my favorite. It's like one of the first comic books I read. That and Spider-Man were some of the first comics I ever read. So I'm definitely a stan when it comes to Fantastic Four. But I don't know. I'm bummed. Can I say something? Maybe I'll get flack for this online. Whatever. Anthony Mackie. We were talking about Brave New World. I feel like Anthony Mackie is not a draw. Like I feel like Brave New World probably would have fared better if it was a series or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just not over as Captain America the way Chris Evans was. Like it's not the same. I think a lot of that can be contributed to time because you had Falcon Winter Soldier where he became the new Cap. Then they announced Cap 4 and it was supposed to be New World Order, and I think it's just it got pushed so many times and went through so many name changes and reshoots that it just people didn't care, and by the time they got to that, they're like, "This is the new Cap. I don't want this, like, I'm not sure, I don't want this moniker Cap." They want Steve Rogers, and it just Mackie did what he could the best he could, and hopefully he does better and is better received in um Doomsday and in Secret Wars, but we'll see. I think you're seeing how many people feel like Bucky should have just got the mantle of Captain America. And
But I don't even think it's that he can't be Captain America. I just think it's him. When I look at Anthony Mackie, I don't see movie star. I see a television star. Like it, do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not, he doesn't have the draw. Like what movies where he was the starring title character has he had success with in the box office? I don't think much.
I don't know if anything. Um
And I got to say, I like Anthony Mackie. I think he's a really likable dude. And every interview I've seen with him, like he comes off as a really stand up guy. He's an excellent father. Like all these interviews I've seen, I just don't know if he has that
how
draw.
many has he really had leading man though? Because other than Twisted Metal, which like you said was a Amazon Prime show, right? Or is it Peacock?
Peacock.
Peacock. Okay. So, but nonetheless, it's a streaming show. Captain America, Brave New World, Falcon Winter Soldier, I would say okay, but he kind of shared the spotlight with Sebastian Stan there. And so really Captain America, Brave New World was it. Like he was in The Banker, but most of his big stuff like um Black Mirror was TV, Hurt Locker, he was a side character, Pain and Gain, he's a side character. Yeah, it just he doesn't have a lot of leading man draw, I think, and I'm tending to agree with you. Like I think he did a great job as Cap, but he's not a put butts in seats kind of draw. He's not like The
Yeah.
Rock or Robert Downey
Yeah.
Jr. or
Box office draw.
Ryan Reynolds or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to be clear. Like nothing I'm saying means that I don't like Anthony Mackie. I like Anthony Mackie. When I look at him, he feels like the Will Smith and Anthony Mackie I kind of put in the same camp as far as like
That's a bold statement,
well,
Cotton.
the kind of actor they are and the kind of like demeanor that they put out. Like Anthony Mackie always felt like Will Smith light to me. Does that
I
make
can see it.
sense?
Yeah, I can see it.
And Will Smith was one of the few actors that's been able to make his way from TV to movie, like have that leap. Not many have been able to do that. And I just feel like maybe Anthony Mackie spent too much time in the background or too much time on TV. It's just he doesn't believe me, or I don't believe him. I'm not able to buy in that he's this movie star.
Yeah, I can feel that. I mean, he's definitely not leading man wise, anyways. Because when you say Anthony Mackie, the first thing I think of, Papa Doc from 8 Mile.
Yeah.
Like it's not even
Yeah.
like, it's Sam Wilson from this Marvel movie. No, it's always, you mean Papa Doc from Captain America? I mean, from 8 Mile? Yeah, sure, okay.
Who got
That's
embarrassed in 8
yeah,
Mile, by the way.
yeah. That's like the first thing that pops in my head is Papa Doc. So
It's a shame. I really I'm worried that people are going to think that Lance is an Anthony Mackie hater. That's not what
no,
I'm saying at
I
all.
think
I like him.
don't overthink it.
Like Twisted Metal, I thought was fantastic, and I'm so excited for the second season. And I liked Brave New World. I'm just saying from an outside perspective that I wonder if that plays into why Brave New World didn't succeed.
I don't know. I think it's more to I really think that the reason Brave New World didn't succeed falls more on the plate of pushing reshoots, people losing interest.
But
The movie,
ca-
because I don't hear issues with Anthony Mackie, really, his performance. I hear issues with other things about that movie,
yeah,
how it's like incoherent and doesn't make sense, and there's so many rewrites and so many cuts, and it just feels like it fell short. And
doesn't it feel like it was a bit when I was watching it, I was like, this could have been cut up into a TV show. It feels a bit episodic. Is that the right word?
yeah, I'm inclined to 100% agree with you.
Like it should have been Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2 or whatever. The one that shocks me though is Thunderbolts. That one shocks me, but because Florence Pugh does seem like a movie star to me. Florence Pugh, I feel like, has box office draw. And the fact that that movie suffered, even with the good word of mouth that it had, with the good reviews, because what is it, an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes?
Something like that, yeah.
Like it's a well-reviewed movie. I think it's the highest reviewed movie of Marvel's Phase 5, if I'm not mistaken.
I
It's
mean,
a damn
I'd
good
believe
movie.
it.
It's a damn good movie. And the fact that it floundered makes me think that there is
Oops,
Marvel fatigue.
my bad. Didn't mean to put that up. No, I don't think it's Marvel fatigue, man. I really think it's just that people are more worried and more conscious about where their money's going, and they're not gonna sit and pay $17 a ticket plus give you 2 hours of their time for a movie that isn't gonna be good. And I think,
Where are you paying $17 a ticket?
well, that's what I paid for Superman.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah, but it was in IMAX, so
Oh, okay.
but
Yeah, because my theater here is $10.
for where? For Harkins?
Fat
Harkins is
Cat.
like 13. Oh, Fat Cats.
Yeah.
But yeah, so people don't want to pay this money to go sit in the seat and give you 3 hours of their time for the movie to not be good. And Captain America: Brave New World just came out before that, and I think people were like, "Oh, this isn't good," and there wasn't a lot of buzz around Thunderbolts. So, and people just aren't going to the movies now. Like I said, they would much rather stay home and watch stuff in the comfort of their home, and they're willing to wait the extra
Yeah.
few months to do that. And the fact that there isn't really a demand for physical media anymore and all that is really hurting these movies, because you say, okay, well, this movie didn't make its money in the box office, that's fine, we'll get it on the back end in DVD sales and physical media. Well, now that's not the case anymore, because not very many people buy physical media, which I'm reverting back to buying physical media, because in a world where everything's going to being internet dependent, when the internet goes down, you got nothing to do. So I'm like, oh, I'm still gonna buy physical media and DVDs and all that, so that way at least I can watch a DVD if the internet's out or something, because all your basic forms of entertainment are through the internet now. So
I gotta tell you, I still have all my Blu-rays. I've got about probably 1,500 Blu-rays. I kept them all. I'm not gonna get rid of them because several times the internet, especially when I had Cox, several times the internet's gone out and we got to pop in a Blu-ray into the Xbox. You know what I mean? So the kids
yep,
can be entertained or whatever. I still buy all the Marvel movies, even though they're on Disney Plus. I still buy them all. I still buy all the DC movies, the ones that really matter to me. I buy those. But yeah, it used to be where, oh, I want to watch that movie, I'll go pick it up. You know what I mean? Oh,
yeah,
it's $5 at Walmart, I'll go pick it up. And not the case anymore. But some of the big ones I still buy. Like I bought Deadpool and Wolverine. I have that one physically. You know,
yeah. I haven't bought
uh,
that physically yet.
you haven't got it?
No, I can't. I think the last movie I bought physically was 4:30 movie, Kevin Smith's 4:30 movie.
Oh, I didn't know that one was out.
Hmm.
I haven't seen that one. I need to pick that one up. I love that movie, by the way. I've watched it probably 3 times.
Me too. But all right, let's get in and start talking about Superman. So in this show, we're we'll do our spoiler-filled review of Superman, and we're also going to talk a little bit about Ironheart that ended last week, or this a week before, I don't know, recently. I guess we're gonna dive in head first into the internet hate fest of people who either liked or disliked Superman join the controversy as it is. So let's go ahead and start talking spoilers for Superman. What do you think of Superman?
Oh, dude. Well, I texted you. What did I tell you? I said, dude, I was smiling ear to ear that entire movie, especially during the second act, during the last half of the movie. I'm a big Superman fan. You are not a big Superman fan, correct?
Right. I'm by all intents and purposes a Superman hater. But before we start this, I want to preface this that you can't really come at Lance or I with the, oh, well, you guys are Zack Snyder stands, because neither one of us really liked Man of Steel or Batman Superman or Justice League for that matter. So we're not Zack Snyder loyalists by any means. So I don't want to hear that in my comment section of, oh, you guys are just Zack Snyder dick suckers or whatever. No, that's not the case. Not by any means.
And there's things that I liked from those movies. Like, let's be clear. I thought Ben Affleck, still to this day, is the best Batman I've ever seen on screen. Like, I loved Ben Affleck as Batman. The scene in Batman vs. Superman when he's in the corner and he jumps on the police, like, I thought that was so fucking cool. Or the train scene. So there's things I like about the Snyder universe, right? For instance, Matt, you know this. I loved Shazam. I thought Shazam was phenomenal. You're not as much of a lover of
not
Shazam.
a big Shazam fan.
There are things that I like about the Snyder universe. So let's just get that out of the way. I'm very middle of the road when it comes to it. Superman, though, is one of my favorite characters. And I was a huge Smallville fanatic. I had Superman comics when I was a kid. I watched Lois and Superman. I watched the Dean Cain Superman and Lois. Like, I've watched every Superman property there is. Richard Donner cut, I think, is a masterpiece of Superman 2. We interviewed fucking
Jack O'Halloran
from the original Superman movie. Like, I am a Superman fan. This movie is the most perfect adaptation I have seen of Superman in my lifetime. I felt like I was watching the Christopher Reeves movies if they were made in 2025. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, Christopher Reeves, I thought, was the embodiment of Superman, just because I grew up with those movies, right? And this felt more of a continuation of those movies than the Brandon Routh movies, which Brandon Routh movie is supposed to be a direct continuation.
Yeah.
Of the, like, it's supposed to be Superman 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I loved everything from the costume design. I loved the casting. Like, there's not a lot of things that I can find to complain about this movie, except for the fact that I'm probably alone in this with people that enjoyed this movie. I'm not a big fan of Mr. Terrific.
Oh, I thought he was phenomenal. He steals the movie, in my opinion, man.
I've never been a fan of Mr. Terrific. I always thought he was just, I hate his costume. I hate his, like, I've never liked him. I hate the T on his face. I hate the jacket. I hate the, what does it say on his arms?
Oh my god. I can't remember.
But he looks like a NASCAR driver. Like, he's always, like, the thing on his arms is on the plane. Like, I've never been a fan of Mr. Terrific. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for that. But never been a fan of him. I like that actor because that actor was in Guardians.
Oh, it's
right?
fair. Fair play is what's on his the arms of his jacket. Fair play.
It might be that I just don't have a lot of I don't have a relationship with him in the comics because I can't honestly remember reading a comic with him in it. I can't at all. My first real interaction with him was when he was in, what was it, Arrow?
No, he was in Flash.
Was he in Flash?
Yeah, he was.
That's my first real, like, introduction to him. So
CW Flash, yeah.
I don't have a lot of history with him. So I've never liked him. I always thought he looked fucking stupid. Like, how does that thing stay on his face, bro? Can you explain that to me? How does it stay?
Same way Green Arrows or Green Lantern stays on his face. Tape.
I guess.
Glue.
I guess. I don't know.
Little
There's
Gorilla
just
Glue.
So, but I liked what that actor did in the movie. Like I thought it was really funny, but um I kind of was hoping for this in the trailer. It kind of makes it seem like Hot Girl and Guy Gardner and Mr. Terrific and Superman are going to have like this 4 on, this big brawl with the you don't really have that
Well, I thought the trailer made it look more
team up.
like, you know, they were trying to capture Superman, like they were trying to stop Superman.
You felt that way?
Yeah, because the way the trailer was cut, like when he walks into the building when Guy Gardner throws up the like basically throws up the shutters so that people can't see in the
Privacy
building.
screens.
Yeah, the privacy screens. It looked like they were trying to because they were trying to like show Superman as kind of being this hated person in the trailer, and like it was almost like they were trying to stop him and apprehend him instead of helping him or being on his side.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't feel like I guess it's hard for me to say because now that I've seen the movie, I know what happened, but I guess I thought maybe in the middle there'd be some kind of conflict, and then at the end, like all of them would be like, "Oh no,
Yeah, they'd have
Superman's
to come
great," you
together.
know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So, like we've seen 100 times in these movies, right? Um, but I thought there was going to be this big team up. I gotta say, Nathan Fillion, and it might be that my wife and I have been on a Castle um marathon and the Rookie, like we just finished the Rookie for the first time. Nathan Fillion has to be one of my most favorite people in show business ever. He should have been Nathan Drake, in my opinion. But Guy Gardner was probably my favorite part of that movie.
Which he's not even in it that much.
He's
Like
not.
that's one of the things I could say about this movie is like I was worried about it feeling overloaded and bloated with all the cast members you had in there, but it didn't. I felt like everybody kind of had their own time to shine. They all had their own points, their own reasons for being there, and it all
Except Hot
worked
Girl.
really, really well. Yeah, I mean, Hot Girl, yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you Hot Girl. I thought it was interesting how out of the people who I really talk movies with are mostly you and Max. It's like we all differed on our ratings for this movie
Yeah.
because I think you said 10 out of 10.
Oh,
Max
dude,
said Max said 7, and I was at an 8. Because to me, there's still a lot with this movie I don't like. Like, because really, when you sit down and you watch this movie, it's a credit to James Gunn because he really took and somehow found a way to make a gourmet meal out of a turd sandwich. Because if
yeah.
you really break it down, this movie should not work.
Yeah.
If you really look at it, it shouldn't work. And kudos to Henry Corenswet. Like,
David.
Henry Cavill Cornsweat, David Cornsweat. Kudos to David Cornsweat because everyone, no matter if they liked or hated this movie, I feel like the one consensus everyone can agree on is that he is the definitive Superman for a new generation. Like he is the Superman going forward, more so than Cavill was.
I think he was perfectly cast. And I
I
have
do
my
too. I think he did a
reservations with
great job. He did a great job, even with the like he kind of reminded me of Max when he's like in the Fortress of Solitude, he's like, "What the frick?" and all that. I was like, "Dude, that's Max. That's
yeah.
100% Max."
What the hey, dude?
Yeah, what the hey, dude. Yeah. I was like, "All right, that's giving you Superman Golden Boy vibes." Like, but the real interesting part of this movie that I didn't like is like I wanted more from the we'll just call them the Justice League. I can't remember what they call them.
Justice Gang.
Justice Gang. Like, I want to know more about them, like more about Guy Gardner, more about Hawkgirl, more about Mr. Terrific. Like, it's hard. I don't know. I like that James Gunn didn't challenge or question the intelligence of the audience.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about this movie that he gives you is that he throws you in the action and it's just like nonstop action for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I feel like one of the lacking things is like we didn't get enough Clark Kent in this movie. You only really get to
Yeah.
see Clark Kent twice, really, and he didn't really interact with the other members of the Daily Planet that much. So the
I
thing with it,
think I think that was intentional. He
probably,
needed to get people excited right off the bat,
yeah,
and an origin movie or a movie where he's not in the suit that much. Because what was it? What movie came out recently where what was it? Everybody's like the first 2/3 of the movie, he's not even in in the suit. What movie
Daredevil
was that?
Born Again.
Yeah, that was a big complaint. Everybody was mad because Matt Murdock is not in the suit for 2/3 of that show.
Yeah,
And so James Gunn, I think, knew, oh, all right, I got to get their attention quickly. So he starts 3 years in.
yeah, which was interesting.
Superman's
I
al
didn't. That's what I was going with. I didn't like that. Like you had almost a Star Wars scroll on the screen where it was like this is Superman 3 years in year one. This, and this, and then you get to like we're 3 years in and Superman is just finally losing his first fight. And let's be honest, he gets his ass kicked this entire movie. He
Yeah.
doesn't win a fight unless he's got help. There's no solo fight he won on his own in this movie. Every
Well,
fight
isn't
he
that the
wins, he
gripe?
gets help.
Isn't that the gripe with Superman is that he often doesn't lose? Like the haters of Superman as a character.
Yeah, it is. He 100%. And so that's kind of why I like this is like Zack Snyder made it, or not Zack Snyder, but God, this is James Gunn depowered him a little bit, made him a little bit more relatable in that aspect where he does get his butt kicked and he's not just like this undestructible being that can only be killed by a single rock. Like it it was a nice change of pace to kind of see a more humanized Superman in that aspect.
Well,
Now,
but a spoiler, there's a reason for that, why he gets it. Because who kicks his ass throughout this movie? There's only really one person.
everybody? No.
No, but like every fight really where he's getting his ass kicked, who's involved in that fight?
The Bavarian Hammer or whatever they call him. Or well,
Yeah.
technically it's Ultraman. But
Yeah, but it's him. It's a clone of Superman.
yeah, which is I think eventually going to pay off to end up being Bizarro.
Oh yeah, dude. As soon as they showed his face, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be like he gets sucked in the black hole. Something's gonna
Yeah.
happen to him. Like we're on to spoiler territory now, and I think I've adequately.
I mean,
warned
we've got
people.
a scroll across the bottom of the screen that says spoiler. So
Every fight where he loses, Ultraman, whatever you want to call him, is involved in some way, right? And the one where he isn't involved, Superman kind of gave him up himself, and what's Kerrigan's character's name that changes into kryptonite?
Metamorpho.
Yeah, that's really the only one where there's like some where Ultraman's not involved, right?
Dude, I cannot. I texted you. I don't know how many of our viewers or listeners have seen Bill and Ted Face the Music, but his character that he plays on Bill and Ted Face the Music is identical to Metamorpho. Like the way he portrays it, the way he talks, I just couldn't get it out of my head.
Honestly, I had a hard time believing it was Kerrigan because my biggest introduction to him is Barry.
Yeah.
And it's completely different than Barry.
Yeah.
Like I remember him in Bill and Ted, but it's been years since I've seen it. But I thought he did a good job. Like I didn't draw that conclusion like you did, but really that's the only one where they're in that like plasma river or whatever you want to call that thing where he's getting his ass kicked, and it's because he was had kryptonite and all this other stuff. That's really the only part where Ultraman's not involved, right?
Well, no, he even pretty much gets his shit pushed in by like the giant kaiju that he fights in the city and everything.
And I think, okay, so maybe I'm becoming a Superman apologist. I think he gets his ass kicked because he's more concerned with saving squirrels and little girls and shit.
But then later on in the movie, he proceeds to like annihilate 100 dudes with his laser vision. And yeah, there's a little scene at the end where they're like, oh, moving on the ground, but you can't tell me like being lasered out of the sky, that you didn't have some dude sever his spine when he fell or die or be cut in half or something. Like he legitimately killed people. He spent all this movie worried about not killing people and people not dying, and then he proceeds to just dispatch 100 dudes with his laser vision.
Which I'd be interested to see, because all the Zack Snyder haters were like, Superman doesn't kill people, and he kills Zod at the end of Man of Steel, right?
They said the same thing about Batman. Batman doesn't kill, and then Batman's got a
Kills people
machine
that
gun
trade.
on he's got a machine gun on the Batmobile.
So I'd be interested to see how many people that were saying Zack Snyder Man of Steel sucks because Superman doesn't kill people, he killed Zod, and then try to find reasons to rationalize that heat vision scene, right?
Yeah.
So I could see your argument. I think that when you're building these comic-y worlds, like, they can do whatever they want, and I think that scene with them crawling on the ground is probably intentional to make it seem like Superman was kind of holding back. Didn't seem like he was holding back, but I gotta tell you, that scene is where I smiled the biggest, when he does the twirling thing and they're all flying off of
yeah, heat
oh
vision.
fuck, dude. Anna turned over to me and she's like, are you about to like show your O face or what's going on, dude?
Vinegar strokes are about to come out.
I was smiling ear to ear when he was doing that spinning shit, because it reminded me of Superman the Animated Series. Like, everything about this movie kind of reminded me of the animated series.
But I felt like this was more like almost a continuation of Smallville.
Mm-hmm.
So it almost felt like Corenswet's Superman was the Superman we got to know in Smallville, and now we're actually getting to see the Superman part of it, because he's only been Superman for 3 years.
I did feel like this had some WB feeling ties to it, like the way it was written and everything about it. Like, yeah, I could see that. Or even in the same world as like the Flash and the Arrow and stuff. Like, I feel like you could seamlessly interject Arrowverse characters into this world. So I did see that online, that people were like, oh, it looks like WB. I can see that argument, but to me, that's not a bad thing.
And a lot of the things I saw online is that people were saying, oh, well, this movie is just James Gunn taking his Me Too situation, putting it in a script and making himself Superman.
I remember you saying that often. You
Yeah,
said that to me a couple
and
times.
I could see it too, like the hashtag super shit stuff. When you're hearing about it in rumors or in leaks, it sounds stupid. Like them changing. This movie really took Superman and made him Goku from Dragon Ball Z, mixed with Homelander from The Boys, mixed with Invincible.
Yeah.
Because he gets his shit pushed in like Invincible. They give you the Ultraman is a clone of Superman twist like they do in The Boys, where in the Boys comics, Black Noir is a clone of Homelander. And then you get the whole like Goku Saiyan thing, because that's what the Saiyans were. They were world conquerors and they sent Goku to Earth to conquer Earth. And so like you kind of get that whole, and I get that a lot of people had an issue with that. Oh, well, the Kryptonians were always scientists. He shouldn't have been sent to Earth to conquer them. Well,
I still think it was
all right.
fake.
They changed that. No, because they've kind of run with that. They switched that up in the Adult Swim show, My Adventures with Superman. They kind of made the Kryptonians more of like world conquerors. And so I don't think it's fake, but I was okay with that. But like there was supposedly in the leaks, Lex Luthor has a lot of like monkeys to troll Superman online. And it was, I guess, a bigger part of that he was using these monkeys to troll him online to make people hate him. And they still kind of kept
Super
parts
shit.
of that. Yeah, in the movie. And the hashtag super shit thing, I was like, God, that's just cringeworthy. But when you watch the movie, it works. It's funny because he's like, oh, I hate that one the most. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
all right, like it works. But I don't think, and one of the biggest gripes I've heard about this is like James Gunn's humor. James Gunn's humor is all over this movie. Like you have humor and one-liners and quips in every scene in this movie, except for the scene between Clark and Pa Kent. That's the only time you don't have any like quick joke or anything like that. And it's like, all right, sometimes it works, sometimes it was like, all right, this is a little ridiculous. Like when he's fighting the kaiju, he's like, "Hey, eyes up here." I was like, that's cringe.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that in that part. Like, I thought he would, I thought that he would be fighting, like, the Bavarian Hammer or whatever, like, someone small. Like, I didn't like that there. I thought he was gonna distract somebody from attacking somebody below him. You know what I mean? Like, it felt like a weird place to put that, but
And
yeah,
like
I agree with you. I
the
mean, his
Bavarian Hammer too, after he makes his appearance and he kicks Superman's ass for the second time, he just like flies over and then lands on this little beach. Like nobody had a camera phone or like, hey, look at this guy, and then followed him. I was like, oh, he landed over there. Let's go see what's over there. You know, it's like, all right, okay, whatever, man. But
Yeah, I was interested to see, like, I'm like, how far away are they that they don't realize that there's this whole camp, like, on the beach? Like, Mr. Terrific and Lois get there in, like, 5 seconds. I'm like, How far away is this?" And then to go through a portal, through another portal, to another portal, just to end up back
right,
in the control room. Yeah. I mean, there's some things that you have to, like, your rational thought has to kinda, like, you have to, like, upend it a little bit and
yeah,
just remember
absolutely,
that this is supposed to be a fun movie that's not supposed to be
serious,
serious or analyzed too deeply. I mean, that was the thing with, the Snyder movies. I always felt like he really wanted to make Superman into Citizen Kane. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
oh, well, Superman is a analogy for Christ, and all these stories are, he's resurrected, and it's all he's trying to make the, Bible into these there was way too much of that, right? There was way too much, like, this is an allegory for this, and this is a metaphor for this, and an analogy for this, and I hated that, right? I don't go to these movies to be theoli or you know what I mean? Theology. What's that? How's that word? I'm struggling with that word, but to be
preach
taught,
to,
preached, but it's not even the Christian aspect. It's just it doesn't need to be that deep,
right,
right? And I think that's what James Gunn kind of successfully does with this movie is there's nothing really deep with this movie, right? It is, you go in, you buy your popcorn, you were thoroughly entertained for 2 hours. You go home and you're like, "Damn, that was a fun movie." That's what I miss
mhm,
about Marvel. Like, Marvel used to be that way. No Way Home felt like that. Deadpool felt like that, where I go there, I buy my popcorn, I'm thoroughly enjoyed for 2 or 3 hours, however long it is. I get Easter eggs and um, fan what's the word I'm looking for?
service,
Thing Fan service within the movie. The Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire was complete fan service for No Way Home. And I go home happy, right? I don't have to think about, well, what does this mean? And what does this mean? And what does this mean? I don't have to think about any of that. I was just, it's like watching the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies in the 90s or Sylvester Stallone or something, like, just thoroughly enjoyed and fun. That's what Superman is. That's what it should be. I mean, Superman is not a complex character. Snyder tried to make him complex, right? So we've talked James Gunn a lot. We both agree. We think he did a good job with what he was trying to do. We think we accomplished his goal. We think David Corenswet, however you say his name, was well casted. What about Nicholas Hoult, Rachel Brosnahan, and Skylar? I don't remember his last name, that plays Jimmy Olsen.
oh, I think Jimmy Olsen was fantastic. The chemistry between the casts at the Daily Bugle was really good. Jimmy Olsen, Cornsweet and Brosnahan, fantastic. The chemistry between Brosnahan and Cornsweet, especially in that scene where they're doing the interview. Like when you watch the trailer and they first showed that, it was like, why is Superman yelling at her? This doesn't make sense. This is against his character. Like this doesn't make sense. but in the context of it, when you watch it, it's really, really good and a really, really powerful scene. My gripe with Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor is he didn't feel like
Imposing.
enough. Yeah, like enough. Like he wasn't he kind of felt more petty than anything else because he's putting his ex-girlfriends in this like dimensional prison, and he's putting like, you know, his reason for hating Superman was kind of like, okay, not so much believable, but it came kind of off more like petty. And then just like the fact that like he's supposed to be this tech genius, and he's using the most inefficient way to get Ultraman to fight Superman, to where he's got to have like this Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter-esque code system and call out codes like it's real steel. You know, R1, 2, R3, 4, 5, like to fight Superman. And
Built
so
it like a video game.
Yeah, use like the most ineffective way of communication to get this dude to fight Superman. And it just really, he didn't come across as that imposing and menacing and things like that. Like he just seemed like a real social media troll, honestly, more than anything, and more than Lex Luthor.
I feel like he can improve though as they build out his character. Like,
and I don't again discredit Nicholas Hoult for that at all. I think that's James Gunn's writing. That's how James Gunn wrote that character. So Nicholas Hoult did the best he could with that character. For all intents and purposes, his look, his mannerisms, I thought he was a really good Lex. But just the way this character was written and what he had to act with was not. I feel like he really polished a turd on that one.
I still feel like he was better than Eisenberg.
Yes, he's definitely better than Jesse Eisenberg, but I can't. His name's escaping, but he's not quite up to Smallville.
Oh, Rosenbaum.
Is it Michael Rosenbaum?
Yes, and
he's not quite on Rosenbaum levels yet.
And I got it. There's something I was looking at. I think when you don't show the Clark years of him figuring out who he is, Smallville, I think the reason Rosenbaum works so well is that he establishes that relationship before he's Superman.
Yeah.
And it shows that why Lex has this personal vendetta against Clark, and they were friends at one point. I think that's what makes Michael Rosenbaum's Lex so good, and why the show suffers when he leaves. Because if you remember from that, he left in what, the 7th season or 6th season or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's gone for 2 or 3 years, and that's some of the hardest Smallville seasons to watch is when he's gone. I think that's where Michael Rosenbaum's Lex flourishes the most, is because you have that history. Here you're trying to explain conflict without earning it. So you have to give him some of these selfish reasons for hating Superman, which they do. I mean, it explains that Lex is doing this because of ego. His ego's bruised because he thinks he's the most powerful person on the planet. And meanwhile, there's this guy that seemingly is just better than good and gets all these gifts. And there's jealousy and ego, right?
Yeah.
So I think that the things that you're saying, like, oh, I don't like this about Lex, I think were unavoidable, right? Because even Gene Hackman's Lex in the Christopher Reeves movies, he's kind of like a thief, right? Like, if I remember correctly, like they strip his
yeah, but his like motives in Superman 2, where he's trying to become like a king and own land, are the same as this. Like their motives are one and the same in both that movie and this one. I just feel like
same as Superman Returns. He was trying to build his own island.
If we're 3 years into this, like there's still got to be more of a reason for him to hate Superman. Like there had to have been interactions between the two in the past, things like that. There could have been more backstory between these two characters, because like Lex Luthor is just as pivotal to Superman as Joker is to Batman. So there could have been more than just the jealousy and, he's an alien and the whatever political agenda that was trying to be
Yeah.
pushed or people is trying to push with this movie as far as like immigration and all that goes. And I just feel like they could have done more with Lex than what they did to where he's basically just trolling Superman online with he wants to get Superman in a viral moment when he takes crypto and then and like basically shit talks him to where only he can hear it about it to get him to
Yeah.
react and catch him. And then the whole like trolling him online with monkeys and stuff and hashtag super shit and all that. Like it just seemed petty and below a man of Lex Luthor's prestige if you're going by
Yeah.
comics standpoint.
Yeah, they still didn't shed the biggest thing about Eisenberg's that people hate is he's kind of like Mark Zuckerberg, right?
Yeah.
Tech bro type guy. They didn't shed that tech bro stigma really
Mhm.
with this. I mean, he's less obnoxious than Eisenberg's. Absolutely. He does a better job portraying him, but I could I could see your point
But I mean, like,
when it comes to
Lex
that.
is a dude who builds a suit to stand up against all these other metahumans. He builds a suit so he can
Yeah.
combat and fight, and which is like what the Raptors had. But why doesn't he have that in the final act? Why don't we see a fight between Lex and his suit versus Superman in the final act instead of Lex just getting absolutely like romper stomped by Crypto like it was his job, you know?
I think what I think is that they're saving it because what did they say in this movie that all kryptonite there's none on planet Earth.
Right.
And Lex's suit is enriched with kryptonite if I remember correctly, right? Like that's why he has kryptonite weaponry and all these other things like and the fact that there's none of it, you have to give him a chance to find I think it's coming. Like
Maybe, potentially.
yeah, I at least I hope. I hope that not all the kryptonite is gone for planet Earth because that's going to offer some real, um, dramatic moments if Lex comes across kryptonite.
Yeah, and the other thing I didn't like too is like when he's got Superman in the pocket dimension and he's playing Russian roulette with that dude. Like that's a cool scene where he has no remorse. Like he's willing to let this dude die and he shoots him in the head. And he's like, "Oh, I thought that would have went on a lot longer." You've already got Superman weak with kryptonite poisoning. If you really wanted to kill Superman, you would have just pointed the gun at him and taken him out. Like, why toy with him? Why? So it just made it like he was, I don't know, maybe not up to par. Maybe he's not the Lex Luthor that we know from the comics yet. He hasn't reached that like social status or prestige yet, to where he's very arrogant and cocky rather than just taking his shot when he had it. But I don't know. Like I said, I don't think it's any fault of Nicholas's Holtz. I think he did an amazing job. He did the best with what he could. I contribute that more to the writing of the character.
Yeah, I think that this what happened at the end of the movie being defeated and being humiliated, I think it's going to do something to his character to kind of embolden him a little bit to
I hope so. I hope so.
that's where I'm leaning. I'm not I don't think we've seen Lex as he is supposed to be throughout this entire, DCU or whatever they're calling it. Because I felt like something bad like this had to happen. Because Nicholas Hoult's Lex, I feel like hasn't lost at any point prior to this. And I feel like that lost is what kind of sends him into a realm of depravity and insanity. You know what I mean? Not insanity from a Joker perspective, but kind of like the unhinged Lex could do anything. Like he's not above anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I feel like this was necessary. We don't know. We've seen one movie. It's not like Marvel where we had 36 Marvel movies. 37 will be Fantastic Four, where we have 37, 36 Marvel movies to dissect an entire universe. We've had one James Gunn DC movie. I feel like a lot of, if this is the start of the world, remember back to Iron Man? The only thing we had was, oh, Tony Stark is this. Oh, he meets Nick Fury, and Nick Fury is putting together a team. Like, that's all we had to go by. We had no idea who was going to be on the team. We had no idea what the team looked like. Like, so just put yourself in that perspective, is that we don't have enough to go on to build this universe yet. The only person that knows is James Gunn.
Right. And I think he did a good job with giving you that, dropping you right in the middle of that universe and letting you know, hey, there's more here that's happened behind the scenes that you're not privy to show that we're in an established universe versus starting out like Iron Man, or instead of just going the normal route of doing an origin story, because Superman is already well established with the Justice Gang, and they help each other out. Just like, but then there's also that arrogance to Superman too, a little bit. Like I said, he gets his butt whooped this entire movie, can't win a fight on his own, but yet he doesn't help the Justice Gang when they're fighting the imp, the dimensional imp in the sky, which people are debating whether that's supposed to be Batmite or what's his name, Mr. Minx or whatever it is,
Oh,
Minx or
the wizard one or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he doesn't help them fight when they're in a fight, but they show up to help him. And I don't know. I like that
he lost his dog.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. Like, I felt like the writing of this movie was weak, where the minute they show up to the Fortress of Solitude and it opens for him, I'm like, well, that's coded to his DNA. So how's he getting in here? And then I was like, oh, okay, Ultraman's a Superman clone. Got it. Already figured it out, And I hate that. I like to be immersed in the world where it takes me a lot longer than the first 30 minutes of the movie to figure out who somebody is.
Yeah,
But
I wasn't shocked by because of how easily Ultraman was kind of beating Superman's ass. I wasn't shocked too much of the clone reveal, but I didn't think that the reason Ultraman was there was to open Fortress. Like, I didn't connect those dots.
yeah,
I just thought maybe Lex had something that kind of mimicked his DNA or something, because like I said, they've been going on for 3 years.
but I
Lex gets
loved,
his blood pretty early, doesn't he? Like in the comic.
I loved how visually bright everything in this movie was. Like, it's a strikingly vast different movie from Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. Like, this is very bright, very happy, very feel good movie in the end. And like I said, I love the characters, chemistry on screen, all of them. Lex was a little wonky to me, but it is what it is in some of his choices. But
I think Lois is phenomenal.
yeah, I think Brosnahan did a fantastic job as Lois Lane.
But I've told you this 100 times. Miss Maisel is like one of the best TV shows I've ever seen, and she's the reason for it.
Yeah,
Like, I knew she was going to do a great job, but she really exceeded my expectations as far as just her chemistry with Clark is perfect. Like, you don't for a second question how they're in a relationship. Like, it just seems to like fit. You know what I mean? Like, what Superman property have we ever seen where you start the first time you see Superman, he's in a relationship with Lois Lane? There's always this like back and forth, will they, won't they thing that happens. I mean, even the Christopher Reeves one, that they're not together till the end of the first or the second.
I think first.
Yeah,
Been a
but they're
while since
still
I've
like,
watched them.
she still like hates him when he gets to the Daily Planet.
Yeah,
It was kind of refreshing to get past all that bullshit. We've
Mhm.
seen it 100 times. I don't know. I just love her so much. I think she did fantastic. But yes, I agree with you. Visually, this movie's beautiful. The imp scene when they're sitting in that room and you see that fighting in the background, like, I just thought was just so beautifully done. The CGI in this is pretty good.
Yeah,
Better than
my
we've seen
only
a lot of Marvel movies.
gripe with CGI is when he's flying. Like, there's parts where he's flying and his face looks really weird, and then the part where like they do the side shot of him flying and he's like speeding up as he's going. It's like very wonky and like almost looks like he's like wavy instead of like a solid figure. It's really weird the way the CGI came across the part, where it's like almost like body dysmorphia or distortion a little bit.
Yeah, I'd have to
And
see it again.
I was like, all right, like there's just, but otherwise it was really, really good. The CGI was very, very good, very well done.
That's always been my gripe with the Snyder movies, where like they seem to put a lot of effort in the CGI, but because it was so dark, it always reminded me of like wet concrete.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it just, I want to see, I don't go to the movies to see this like drab palette. Like I want to see these colors pop and stuff. I mean, we have these screens that with their HDR and everything, like the black contrasting to the colors and everything, but this movie really seems to take advantage of the IMAX. Because wasn't the whole movie filmed in IMAX? The IMAX
I don't know off
cameras.
the top of my head. I'm sure it probably was.
It's got to be one of the most colorful, beautiful movies I've ever seen. It reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, when I got my new, 120 hertz HDR, 4K TV, all that bullshit. I remember I used to show people the beginning scene of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 because it was when they're fighting on that big circular thing and Baby Groot's dancing and stuff. So James Gunn has a way to make these colors pop in the action scenes, be entertaining, and I don't know. I feel like he has a winner with where he's going. But again, we've only seen one movie.
Yeah, we'll see what James got. I like the cameos in this movie too. Like I was surprised by the Peacemaker cameo.
Yeah,
I
me
thought that
too.
was pretty funny. I
Which are they going
loved
to explain how he jumps universes? Is
and
that coming?
Peacemaker season 2 they will. They're going to. I
Okay.
loved this movie did one really good thing for me, and it made me super hyped for Supergirl. Because when you see her at the
Yeah.
end, when she comes in to get Crypto back, and he's like, "Oh, that's my cousin. She likes to go to, you know, other planets with red suns because then they allow her to get drunk, and she's just a party girl." And it's gonna be interesting to see her like more of like a savage character than what she's been portrayed before, like a flawed character with issues.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I've always wanted from Supergirl was her to be, stand on the side of good, but kind of be different from Clark, who seems to have all his shit together, who's raised on a
Mhm.
farmland and he respects his mom and dad and he's good to his spouse or girlfriend or whatever, and he's respectful of everybody. I kind of want to see what happens like if he didn't end up with Martha and Jonathan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's kind of what happens with Kara. Kara ends up in with a different family. She's raised differently. So she shouldn't be this beacon of hope like she's portrayed like in the Supergirl show. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or anything else I've seen. The My Adventures with Superman did a really good job of that, kind of showing Kara being the antithesis to
Yeah.
Clark. Um so yeah, I thought she looked awesome. Like her costume looked great. Like she, I don't know. And obviously the woman of, is it called Woman of Tomorrow? Is that what her
Superman
movie's
or
called?
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, yeah.
Obviously Crypto's going to be a big part of that.
Yeah, I think
Ne-
Crypto is I think it's safe to say Crypto is their baby Groot.
Oh yeah, you can't have a James Gunn movie unless he has some sort of
Baby Groot or
bankable rocket.
Grogu, or yeah, he's gonna have, that's the new like everybody wants Crypto.
Do
Which
you know that's
Crypto was
modeled
good.
after his dog?
Yeah. Crypto was good, and I like the way they even made him, kept him, even though he's full CGI, to acting like an actual dog. And so like when Mr. Terrific's balls are flying around, pause. When he's using his orbs and stuff, and like Crypto's going after him and destroying him and just doing what a dog would do. I thought that was a really nice touch to the movie too.
Is he
Um,
always CGI even when he's sitting on
yeah,
Brosnahan's
he's
lap?
CGI the entire movie,
That's wild.
right?
I thought when he was like sitting on Brosnahan's lap, like that was a real dog. It
Nope.
looked good.
CGI the entire movie.
It's not his brother, is it?
No, his brother is Maxwell Lord. You see
Yeah, I
that
saw that,
later
but I
on.
thought maybe he was doing because he's in the Guardians movies as
One of the Ravengers.
yeah, but he also plays Rocket, like the
Yeah,
body.
and he's Weasel in Suicide Squad. He's
Yeah,
the
so I thought for sure he was probably like Maxwell Lord, but also like playing the
he
CGI.
might have. I don't know. He might have, but
Yeah.
I think overall, like I said, it's a good movie. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I was surprised by how good it was, especially after following the leaks and stuff. I was really like, oh, this is gonna bomb. But I went into it and I was super excited coming out of it. I felt like I said, Corenswet is the new definitive Superman. Rachel Brosnahan is a fantastic Lois Lane. The Jimmy Olsen stuff where he's pretty much just, this chick magnet was pretty funny. It was good. Like my biggest gripes with this movie that keep it from being a perfect 10 for me is I wasn't a big fan of the portrayal of Lex. I'm not a big fan of some of the CGI scenes. Some of the writing was questionable. I didn't need the jokes all the time. They don't detract from it. Your normal James Gunn humor, it doesn't detract from it, but some of it is like, okay, dude, we don't need this. He doesn't need to have a quip like he's Spider-Man about everything,
Yeah.
and so
Can I
it
say
just
one thing?
things like go
Oh, go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was just
Well,
saying it just things like that or like made it to where underlying and it kind of comes down to like where I said with Deadpool Wolverine is like that movie, when you break that movie down and you remove all the fan service and the cameos, that plot sucks. That movie
yeah.
shouldn't work. And that's kind of how I feel the same way with Superman. It's like when you break that all down, like this movie shouldn't work. But the chemistry of the actors, Cornswood is Superman, it all kind of goes to cover up the errors and the weak plot of the movie to really make it shine. So, like I said, they really took what, for all intents and purposes, should have been a turd and polished it up into a winner.
Yeah, and they both, speaking of Deadpool, they both have big things that they have to overcome, right? James Gunn's Superman has to build an entire new world and make you forget about the Snyderverse, right?
Mhm.
Deadpool has to take a Fox character and put him into the MCU. Like they had big things they had to overcome as far as the writing, and I think both did well. But the thing I was going to say about Superman is I wanted to mention the fact of the respect of the past, right? We could all say that Superman, though he was made in the 1930s, created in 1930s, he's always been synonymous with Christopher Reeves. Always, right? Christopher Reeves, like you could really call that like the first superhero movie, I think, right? Christopher Reeves Superman.
No, there's other people that were Superman before Christopher Reeves,
Well,
but like
yeah, like
he's like the definitive that people go back to, yeah. Because
kind
I
of
think
Michael
it wasn't
Keaton
his
as
dad.
Batman.
Didn't his dad play Superman too?
There's George Reeves, but I don't think that's his
Yeah, I
dad.
think that's his dad.
I don't think so. I don't. Now we need to look it up.
Right.
Yeah, they do the movie Hollywood Land is kind of touches on George Reeves, doesn't it? But Ben Affleck plays George Reeves. You know that movie Hollywood Land?
Yeah, yeah.
Um yeah, I don't think he's I think it's they just have the same last name. There might be some relationship there. But Christopher Reeves has always been kind of synonymous with the role.
No,
Michael Keaton as
no,
Batman.
his dad was FD Reeves. Damn it, I like my narrative better. My narrative better is that George Reeves and Christopher Reeves are father and son, and that so they both played Superman.
That'd be funny. That yeah. They don't even I don't know. Yeah, the George Reeves died by suicide. People think it was a murder by the mob or something like that. But Hollywood Land kind of touches on that whole thing. But and he's not the only one. I mean, there was somebody else that played him live action, I think, as well.
Yeah, Kirk. What's that?
before,
Alan
right?
or Allen? Yeah, Kirk
Bef-
Allen did it in the 50s.
That's before George Reeves?
Yeah.
After?
Uh, George Reeves. I want to say. Um, When did George Reeves
Oh,
play?
Kirk Allen became the first actor to portray the hero on screen. The first feature film was George Reeves. First big budget was Christopher Reeves.
Okay.
Oh, it's George Reeves, Christopher Reeve.
Oh, that makes sense. Everyone just
Yeah.
calls him Reeves. So
Yeah. I didn't know it until I just read it. But okay, so back what I was saying. So
yeah, he was 52 is when he was Superman in the Adventures of Superman. It was 52 to 58.
yeah, Kirk Allen was 48.
Yeah, okay.
But so the title shot with the music and everything was kind of an homage to the Christopher Reeves um
Yeah.
movies. Not only that, but they had Christopher Reeve's kids and his wife, I think, or something like that.
His son is in the movie. His son plays a reporter, like a news reporter or something in the movie.
But James Gunn brought them into the production to kind of get their blessing too. So there's a lot of respect that happens within this movie of getting the Reeve family's blessing, including Christopher Reeve's son in the movie, who has a small cameo, I believe. And then having the end credits and the opening credits kind of an homage to Christopher Reeve, his Superman films. I loved
I
that.
I think there was an ulterior motive behind that. Because they were getting sued, like the estate for Joe Siegel, who was it was either Siegel or Schuster's estate, one of the two estate were trying to block the movie from being distributed overseas because they said that Warner Brothers doesn't and DC doesn't have the rights to Superman there. So like I think that was kind of done with ulterior motives to say, hey, look, like we've got, everyone knows Christopher Reeves was Superman. We got his family and their blessing to do this. So it was kind of like I kind of feel like it was maybe some sort of a fuck you to the state of the creators of Superman. But that's just me and my pettiness.
Yeah, and that could very well be, but we could say that these movies kind of pay attention to the past more than Snyder's did.
Absolutely. 100%. They 100% pay homage to Superman, past, present, and future.
I mean, you have to respect things that happen that made this character who he is, and Superman would not be as big as he is if not for Christopher Reeve's movies.
Well, I think the comic book aspect of it was already he was massive before Christopher Reeves. I think Christopher Reeves
Oh
just
yeah.
helped elevate that. But
Yeah, you could say the same thing with Batman. Like Batman was a huge character, but Michael Keaton's Batman kind of made it known for people outside of comic fandom or whatever. The three biggest
I
superheroes in
would
history is Superman, Batman, and Spider-Man.
well, when it comes to Batman, I would say that really it was
Adam West.
Adam West that r- pretty much put the character in the what's the word I'm looking for? The on-screen aspect
Oh
of it.
yeah, into people's consciousness.
Yeah, and out of print in live action aspect of Batman is he's the one that deserves all the credit for that. Keaton is like our generation, but you
But
go
you could
back.
argue without Keaton, we would not have this dark. I mean, he's portrayed. His suit looks almost identical to ever since Adam West and Keaton are very
Yes,
different.
Adam West is very campy, like the original Batman, was at the time, and very, very campy. And then you get into the more darker which is what the character became over the years, and
Burton's.
with Keaton and Burton and all that. But Yeah, I think they go hand in hand. Like, really, you can't say like Batman might not have a definitive place in media, on-screen media, without Adam West and then Michael Keaton to level that up. And I
Yeah.
think it's kind of the same thing here. Is like you probably wouldn't have Superman being the media icon he is in this form of media without Christopher Reeves, and
Yeah, that's the
then
point I was trying
to
to
have
make.
Henry Cavill kind of take it to that next level, and then Cornsweet now going even further.
Yeah, and Spider-Man being the third. I mean, it's interesting because Superman and Batman have been portrayed since Superman since the 40s and 50s or whatever, but Batman since the 60s with Adam West.
Mhm.
Spider-Man really didn't get that live action uh stamp on the map, if you will, until Tobey Maguire portrayed him, right? And
I
he's the
mean,
third largest.
you had the '60s Spider-Man TV show.
But it
Uh,
wasn't anywhere near what Adam West was.
no, no, not. I wouldn't say by any stretch of the imagination that would be the case.
Like before
Um,
Toby, it was always kind of like Marvel was kind of like Me Too,
yeah,
to DC. I mean, DC um kind of what's the word? Dominated the comic landscape as far as media is concerned.
yeah,
Tobey Maguire's really
yeah.
the, you
Because you
know,
really didn't get it. I mean, you had Blade come out, which was a Marvel movie and all that, but Marvel's popularity didn't really start catching on till the Tobey Maguire, the X-Men, or the first X-Men movie, then Tobey Maguire stuff, and then it kind of stumbled with the Ben Affleck Daredevil. But yeah, DC, you had hits in all the Batman movies through the 90s, the Schumacher Batmans, the um Tim Burton Batmans. Yeah, yeah. I would say you're pretty spot on with that.
so how long do you think it's going to be before we have some sort of crossover event with, like, Super or Spider-Man gave us that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield thing. How long do you think it's going to be before DC starts getting into this multiversal stuff? It's coming.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we're gonna get a Crisis at some point. We're gonna get a Crisis on Infinite Earths movie.
Do you
I
think
think
that's
he's
going to be
gonna
their first big mega movie event? Is
maybe, but
Crisis?
I think he's gonna take the Marvel approach and he's gonna build this team out like because he started the Justice League essentially, or you know, the Justice Gang with relatively unknown characters. Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner's really the only one um, that is known, but he's not even like the most popular Lantern. Like
Yeah,
you've
Green
got,
Lantern's known. Guy Gardner is not.
yeah. Well, I mean, when people say Guy Gardner, or Green Lantern, they think Jonathan Stewart
Hal
or Hal
Jordan.
Jordan. They don't think Guy Gardner. So like
Mhm.
I think it's going to be a slow build. So we're going to get Batman, the Brave and the Bold, and then I think we'll end up getting a Wonder Woman movie as well. And then in a couple of years, they'll make them meet up
Well, you
and
got Green Lantern Corps.
yeah, join. Well, that's going to be HBO Max show, but
Right.
you have a couple years, I think, down the line before we see the Justice League as we know it fully on screen together again.
Yeah, what did Marvel do? They came out with Iron Man, Thor, Captain America. Captain America was the first one before Avengers, right?
Mhm.
And they had Iron Man 2 was in phase 1, right?
Yeah, it was Iron Man, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Captain America, First Avenger,
And then the Avengers.
and then the Avengers movie, yeah. I
Which
feel like I'm
Hulk you
forgetting
can't
one in there,
even.
but I feel like I'm forgetting one in there, but I don't think I am.
Yeah, Iron Man 2 and introduced Black Widow. So that definitely came before Avengers.
And Hawkeye, well, Thor. Thor's the other one I was forgetting.
Yeah, Thor
So like
introduced Hawkeye.
all your individual members of or your big members of the Avengers had their own movies before the Avengers movie started.
Well, you can put an asterisk next to Hulk.
Well, he technically did. Like the Edward Norton one, it was technically MCU canon. So
Yeah, but they changed him quite a bit to introduce him into the Avengers. I mean, Mark Ruffalo and Edward Norton's Hulk, there is overlap, but there's also some disconnect.
yes, 100%. But the only one that didn't really get their own movie was Black Widow and Hawkeye. Hawkeye
Mhm.
was pretty much a throwaway mention in Thor.
Yeah, in the beginning, isn't he like in that
Yeah,
he's
when they
like
get
protecting the area or whatever?
yeah, with the hammer, he's sitting in the crow's nest with, shooting, and it wasn't even Jeremy Renner who was playing Hawkeye at the time. So,
It
you know,
wasn't?
no, it was some other guy.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm positive.
I need to watch that movie again. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely recommend Superman for everybody. I think that this world is going to be I think we're easily going to forget the Snyderverse once this thing starts building, especially once they release the team up movie. Once Justice League comes out and we see what a Justice League movie should be. And I might be bullish and I might be entirely too optimistic, but I have a lot of faith, judging by this first film, that this is going to be exactly what Superman fans, DC fans want. But who
Yeah.
knows? We'll know once Batman comes out. I think that's going to be the real test of the Gunn's universe.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll find out because he said all these movies are gonna have different tones and all that. So I'm interested to see who actually is gonna play Batman and when we get this announcement of a Batman, And
I think it's going to be Jensen Ackles.
you think so?
I do. James Gunn seems to be circling that WB. I don't know. He's become really chummy with Rosenbaum, who's really chummy with Jensen Ackles. Like Jensen Ackles has repeatedly said that he would drop everything to be Batman. Jensen Ackles has a big kind of spotlight on him right now. What has
There's
he got? 2 shows coming out.
there's a lot of word that they're trying to get Robert Pattinson's Batman to be the DCU Batman. So
They may be trying. I don't think Pattinson has any interest.
no, I think he does. He says he does. He says he has. He wants to. He was complaining that it was taking so long for this movie to get made, the second movie to get made. He was like, I signed this 3-movie deal, and I'm going to be an old man before we finish this at this rate. I'm supposed to be a younger Batman, and I'm going to be an old man before we get these finished. Like, I think he does. I think he has interest in playing Batman in this universe, but I don't know necessarily how Matt Reeves' Batman would fit into this world. Like,
Well, I thought the whole thing when they cast Pattinson, and what the director had said is that there's no superpowers in this world,
yeah,
in his world.
that's what Matt Reeves said. Yeah, and we'll
And I
see.
thought that's why Pattinson signed on, is that it really is about a dude in a suit. Like there's
Yeah.
absolutely 0 superpowers. So which kind of cancels out half of the rogues gallery of Batman. I don't know. I think Batman should be a little bit older though.
Well,
Than
he's gonna have
Pattinson.
to be in Brave and the Bold, especially if Damian Wayne is in the movie. He's gonna have to be older.
I don't know. Would you want to see Jensen Ackles as Batman?
Yeah, I mean, he's
I think
voiced
he'd kill
Batman a
it
couple times already, hasn't he?
a few times, like
So,
more than a few.
the dude who is Hawk, my front runner is still the dude who was Hawk in Titans and is Reacher.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Alan Richson.
yeah, he's still my front runner. He's got the size, he's got the build. Like, I think he would kill it. He's my front runner for that character, but
I like him, but Jensen Ackles has a voice that behind the cowl would just sound so good. I don't know. You
the
pull
bigger
that
question
deep
is like,
voice
who are you gonna cast to play Damian Wayne in that movie? That's
opposite Jensen Ackles.
opposite whoever they get to play Batman.
How old is Damian Wayne supposed to be?
That's a great question.
Like, is he an adult or is he?
No, he's a teenager. He's a teenager. Like
Next to Jensen Ackles. Who's some big teens right now?
He's 19, according to the DC Comics Wiki fan page. I was gonna say like 16 or something, but he's 19.
Somebody that has the physical ability to.
So when he first appears, he's remarked to be 14 years old.
Okay, so who I was thinking. I'm looking strictly from like just looks and physical ability, but this guy I think is too old. The kid from Cobra Kai, Robbie, I think is too old.
I think he would be a better Robbie would be a better Jason Todd, I think.
Yeah, that'd be good too. I like that kid a lot, actually. Walker Scobell? No, I don't think he has a Damian Wayne look. The kid from that's the kid from Percy Jackson, Adam Project. It's kind of a mini Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
This list is showing me people that are definitely not teenagers.
So Damian Wayne was in the care of Bruce Wayne at the age of 10. So I don't know what age.
But Damian Wayne is Talia. He's actually
Bruce Wayne
not
and
an
Talia.
orphan.
No,
Yeah,
Bruce
he's
Wayne and Talia al Ghul's son.
Right. So he has to look like, or he has to be believable that he is the son of whoever's playing Batman. It's not like Dick Grayson.
You know who I think would be great? Would be he's kind of old though, because he's like 33, but he's still playing a teenager in shows.
Really?
Hold on. This actor, I don't know if you've seen Stick yet on Apple TV with Owen Wilson. His
I
name
have not seen that yet. I've been meaning to.
is Peter Dagger. He plays the main kid on Stick. I think he would be a really, really good choice for Damian Wayne. Just by the way, the character he portrays in Stick, I think would be a really, really good.
What about the kid from what's the movie that Seth Rogen did with the three Good Boys? The main kid.
The kid who played Thor. No, I think the kid who played Thor in that movie would be better, but he's also.
Is that the kid from Mighty Ducks?
I think so, yeah.
But the main kid, Jacob Tremblay. But I don't know if he has the physical ability to do something like that.
Okay, well, Peter Dagger's 22, so he could do it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'd like to see what they do. It's interesting that the first movie is going to bring Damian Wayne in. So that leads you to think that if this guy has a 10-year-old, he's got to be in his 30s, 40s if he's taking in a 10-year. Like that's probably where they're going to cast. Jensen Ackles, I don't know, dude. I'm so on board with Jensen Ackles.
I would have to see him in the cowl first. I think that's the real seller. Is he can look good as Bruce Wayne, but the real seller is going to be the cowl, him in the cape and cowl.
Well, he has the jawline for it, because I think there's a picture of Jensen Ackles doing Batman cosplay online.
There's no doubt that he's got the jawline for it. Like, just look at him as Soldier Boy, you know?
Oh, yeah. Dude, he's a good-looking man. But you're right. I mean, doesn't Alan Richson doesn't he what are you doing? Go away.
He wants to play Batman real bad.
Thank you. Alan Richson.
Yeah.
I just think he's big, dude. That's a big boy.
Good. You want a big Batman.
Yeah, that's kind of what I like about Ben Affleck. Can I say something without people getting upset though? I don't know. I love Alan Richson.
I don't know. Why are you asking me like I'm the fucking
Well,
authority on people getting upset?
No, I'm saying to the people that are watching, not to you, but
okay.
I think Jensen Ackles is a better actor.
Probably. Here you go. I think this is the image you're talking about here. The Jensen Ackles.
Are you sharing
dressed as
something?
Batman. I'm gonna share it in just a second. I haven't shared it yet.
How do I get out of full screen on this thing? This is the problem when we use new stuff. I don't know how to. Yeah, that's a fan. That's a fan thing. Somebody put him in there.
Still, there's like he looks good there.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. He looks like Ben Affleck to me, or he looks like Batman to me. But then again, I never thought Ben Affleck would look good as Batman, and dude, he looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, I agree. It was very like mixed emotions about him being Batman. He did a great job. So
I'm bummed we'll never see his standalone Batman movie.
I know. It'd be nice it would be nice if they could get him to come back and play Batman, but
I think he's pissed at that. I think that's part of the reason why he started his own like studio. That he did that on his own studio with Matt Damon.
Yeah, because he wanted to go make Oscar-worthy pictures like The Accountant 2.
Dude, The Accountant 2 is bad. I love that movie. But I don't know. Okay, you want to talk about well, so you're giving it 8 out of 10. I'm giving
I gave Superman 8 out of 10.
Right now I'm still high on Superman. I'm still giving it 10 out of 10, but we'll see what happens on a second viewing if I lower my score. But what about we had Marvel Ironheart. So we kind of convinced Max to watch it. He said the first episode was slow. What do you think of his consensus on that?
I agree. Overall, I really liked Ironheart. We talked about it in the opener. I don't understand the hate the show's getting, the targeting of it, the campaign to target it. I don't know. I just think it's like the cool thing right now to hate Marvel and hate these Disney Plus shows. But I really liked Ironheart a lot.
I liked the casting. I agree the first episode was slow. I think what it is, and it's really sad, there are these people, what I've noticed from the people that rag on these Disney movies and stuff, they see like a LGBTQ person in any of these things and they just go ape shit, and it's so fucking sad. And there was a trans actor cast in this, which I liked them.
Yeah, I liked their character as well too. But I liked that this show didn't make a big deal about it. It didn't throw it in your face. Yeah. It didn't throw in your face that they were trans. They were just a regular trans. They were just a regular person. The character was solid. They were portrayed solid. Like, it was a great thing. Like, they didn't jam it down your throat. They weren't like, hey, look, we're being progressive by casting this person in this role. No, it really felt like they casted the best available option for that role. And it was fantastic. I thought it was a great character.
Yeah, I get really upset. Like, you can have your beliefs or whatever, and as long as they're not like harassing other people or whatever, like whatever, I can't excuse that. But these people that are just mad whenever they see them, like, I just don't freaking get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no reason to be.
But I thought everybody did a great job. I liked the relationship between Riri and Natalie, the AI. I thought Anthony Ramos, is that his name, that plays the Hood?
Yeah.
Like, I thought he did a great job, and I've liked him since what was the first thing I saw him in? Was it Bumblebee or one Transformers movie? Was he in Beast Wars?
Um,
I want to say he was in a Transformers movie.
I can't remember where I saw him at first. To be
Oh, he
honest,
was in Twisters. I remember that, but that was not the first time I ever saw him. I want to say he was in a Transformers movie.
he was in
Yeah, Rise of the Beast. He's the main character.
yes, you're right. He was in Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the first thing I've seen him in. It might be, but
I think the first thing he was in A Star Is Born. I think that might have been the first thing I saw him in.
oh, he was in Godzilla, King of Monsters. That's right.
Yeah, and
I remember that now.
Hamilton. He was also. I think that's where I saw him first. That was Hamilton, actually.
But the real time I remember him was Transformers.
Yeah.
Rise of the Beast. Is that the same as Beast Wars? Did I call it
Yeah.
Beast Wars? That was the cartoon.
Yeah,
right?
it's the same.
Which, by the way, that movie should have done better than it did, but whatever. I digress. I thought he did a fantastic job. The one thing I didn't like about that show is they got the guy, his like brother, who was in Good Girls. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, he was the main bad guy in Good Girls that was like blackmailing him and stuff. Yeah,
That guy is awesome, and they killed him off way too quickly. I kind of wanted to see where that guy went. I don't have a lot of
6-episode series, man. You gotta move fast.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he would become something in the future because that guy, I mean, Good Girls was a great show. I think it got canceled after 2 seasons or 3 seasons or something like that. Like
Yeah, it was short lived for sure.
I really wanted to see if that guy could last longer. I mean, they never show a body. It's possible he could pop up again, but that actor is phenomenal. What's his name? Manny Montana? Is that it?
Which one?
That actor that I'm talking about. I think it's Manny Montana. Yeah, Good
sounds
Girls.
sounds like a porn name.
Yeah, it does. Dude, he's a really good actor, and I don't see him in enough stuff. You know what's funny is his real name is Manny Montana. He's in Mayans MC and plays a character named Manny. But I don't know, like I felt like it started off slow. I also felt like who was it that was telling me? Maybe it was you. They kind of disparaged Tony Stark a little bit in this show.
No, I think that was Max.
Did Max say that? And
Yeah.
once he said that, I kind of agreed with him a little bit, but it wasn't as much of a glaring issue with the show as he made it out to be. Because I think he just puts some of these original characters on such a high pedestal. You have to consider that there's going to be people. There's going to be people that, like in real life, everybody. I mean, there's people that love me. There's people that hate me. There's people that love you. There's people like, so you're going to have different perspectives on any one person in real life.
For sure.
That it's kind of understandable that there might be a group of people that think Tony Stark is a piece of shit. And, you know, but I don't know. I was expecting this show to suck.
Which I don't really get because I don't really see how they disparage Tony Stark in this show. Like,
I think, or they minimize. What did he say? They minimize his accomplishments or something like that.
I don't think so. I think they celebrate him pretty well in the show.
I don't remember how Max put it, but
I was worried that it was gonna suck too. But I like the aspect of like it's not an origin story. You're getting like it's more of a like you're seeing Riri Williams deal with her loss and the struggle of loss. And it's kind of like the redemption of Riri Williams a little bit, where she's down in her luck. She's, had that internship at Wakanda. I think it's because of the connection between like she's got the Stark internship, which they turned into a real thing after it was given to Peter Parker in Civil War. And so she's at MIT at the Stark internship and then gets kicked out of MIT. And so I don't really think it disparages Tony Stark, but it's very much like the story of grief of Riri Williams and the redemption of Riri Williams.
Yeah, because she feels partially responsible for what happened to her friend and her stepfather, right? Is that her stepfather? Yeah, I like these shows offer an opportunity to not be balls to the wall action all the time, much like Superman was, and gives you an opportunity to like delve into the characters and their interpersonal relationships and stuff. And I feel like this show did a really good job of that. Much like the Miss Marvel show. I think the Miss Marvel show did a really good job of that as well. Where I feel like Moon Knight, I don't feel like did a good job with that. And that's why I'm not a big fan of Moon Knight, right?
Mhm.
Like I want to watch these TV shows. Walking Dead was like one of the best TV shows ever to do this, right? With the interpersonal relationships and the character development. That's why we watch TV. We sit through some of these shows. If they're 10 episodes, that's 10 hours of TV. And you want to see what these people are in their real lives and have an attachment to these characters. And I think Ironheart did that really well. Moon Knight, do you remember anybody's name besides Mark in that show?
Mm-mm.
Because it doesn't but I can tell you Riri, Natalie, what was the guy was it Rio or Cousin John? You know, like I remember all these characters' names from Ironheart because it actually gives you an investment into their lives. I can't tell you anybody outside of Mark from Moon Knight who's who.
Yeah.
You know, so I also like the fact that they gave us 3 episodes and then a week later gave us the other 3 episodes and that was it.
Yeah, it was short for 6 episodes, but it was good. Like I felt like it gave us the payoff everybody wanted in Mephisto, honestly. Like the Mephisto finally coming to the MCU, and that damn Sacha Baron Cohen kills it as
dude, he is a chameleon. That dude
he really is.
I was like, I was watching, I was like, is that Sacha Baron when he first came on the screen? I was like, I thought he was playing Mephisto. I was like, that's not him. And then when I saw his teeth, I'm like, oh yeah, that's him.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And it opens up, like you and I had a discussion about it too, like how much it opens up the broader MCU because they could do so many things with it. And like to me, it almost him coming in Ironheart, because we've been talking about him coming in the MCU since WandaVision. Him coming in Ironheart kind of ruins No Way Home for me because it's like, dude, why didn't you just why did you retcon one moment in day and take or one moment in time or why retcon one more day and give it the one moment in time storyline where Doctor Strange helps him undo everything that the deal with Mephisto did. And have and make to where Strange is going to change things and things go awry and incursions yada yada yada. Why didn't you just bring Mephisto in then and have him make the deal with Peter Parker and MJ where they sacrifice the relationship to save Aunt May's life? Now it's going to be what he's going to present himself to Peter Parker after the events of Brand New Day, where shit's going to be changed and shit's going to be weird and no Aunt May and his friends don't know who he is. And he sees MJ moving on with somebody else. And then, he's got the new love interest and whoever Sadie Sink's playing, whether it's going to be Mayday Parker, Tobey Maguire's daughter, or if it's going to be, she's going to be Gwen Stacy, or if she's going to be Felicia Hardy, whoever they're bringing in, you assume they're bringing her in to be his new love interest. Why go through all that? And now what, he's going to make a deal with Mephisto at the end of that movie to bring back Aunt May, bring Aunt May back to life. And then all that's going to get undone again when we go through, when the world gets destroyed by incursions, and then Doom makes Battle World, and the events of Secret Wars happen. They're gonna just undo all that again.
Yeah, I read Brand New Day. Doesn't that follow after the Mephisto storyline that you're talking about?
Brand New Day is the story arc right after the Mephisto stuff, where people no longer know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. He's no longer in a relationship with Mary Jane, and that Aunt May's now alive after being shot.
Yeah, so I read that because I read both of those before No Way Home came out. And yeah, I agree with you. Like, it kind of shakes things up in a way. They're like, what are they doing? Like, are they going to ruin Brand New Day? Was a really good read, like, and what's the one called before it?
One More Day.
One More Day. So both those were really good reads. I was surprised how good of reads they were. But in One More Day, like, he has a baby with MJ already, right?
No, One More Day is him and MJ are together. Aunt May gets shot because everybody knows he's Spider-Man because he unmasked during Civil War. So they're going after him and the people he loves. So they're trying to shoot him and miss and end up shooting Aunt May, and Aunt May dies. And so Spider-Man makes the deal with Mephisto. He's trying to get Strange to save her, and Strange won't do it. And so he makes the deal with Mephisto and sacrifices his relationship with Mary Jane to bring back to make it so that nobody will remember he's Spider-Man and bring back Aunt May. So he sacrifices his relationship with her, so they'll never get married, they'll never be together, anything like that.
Oh, does he get a vision of his daughter in that?
No, I don't think so. I don't believe so. It's been a
I
while
thought
since
there
I
was
read it.
I
But
thought there was a mention of his daughter, and he says that not knowing MJ and not having his daughter and all, like, that's part of the things that he's weighing when he's trying to make that decision. But
maybe I can't. It's
it's
been a
not
while. It's been a
important.
while since I've read it. But yeah, and then one moment in time kind of is where you learn Mary Jane's side of everything and where the things kind of get undone. So they eventually undo it, and MJ and Peter get back together. But that's kind of what One More Day is like him making this deal with Mephisto to sacrifice his relationship with Mary Jane and essentially give everything up for Aunt May. So is that what they're gonna do now with Brand New Day? Is at the end of Brand New Day, he's gonna sacrifice everything for um Mephisto to bring back Aunt May again? Like or he's gonna sell his soul to have his friends back? Like it's just weird that if they continue on, but it opens up so many possibilities, and it makes me feel like Mephisto's going to be a larger looming presence in the MCU moving forward, because at the end of Ironheart, we don't even get the full, like, did Riri make that deal? Did she not make that deal? Like, you get the sense that she did
Yeah.
because Natalie shows back up at the end when she's supposed to be dead, and Riri thinks she's AI. She thinks it's the AI back, and Mephisto gave her the real person back. But Mephisto's always want one thing. He comes to you and presents you with a deal, but he's always so very, like, methodical about what he does and what he says, and changes things constantly. So
Well,
his
yeah, there's
what
always
he
the trick,
presents to
right?
you, what he presents to you isn't really what he means. And it's interesting that they don't use the word soul. He doesn't say, I want your soul. He says, you have a particular thing I want at a certain point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's kind of throughout that whole exchange, I was kind of thinking Mephisto is Satan, right? And I watched enough Supernatural and all these other things where these shows where they sell souls and things. There's always the catch,
He's
right?
technically not Satan. He's technically not the devil. Like, people think he's the MCU's, like, equivalent of the devil, but he's not. He's kind of like a deity, kind of on the same lines as, like, Dormammu. He's not
Yeah.
the MCU's devil. Like, there is a devil in the MCU, and it's not Mephisto.
Right. these whole exchanges are kind of, I was equating them to like how I see the devil in other
Yeah, you know, I
shows,
get
right?
what you're saying. I'm just throwing that out there as kind of like a knowledge piece for the viewer listening.
Yeah.
Think that Mephisto is the MCU's devil. He's technically not. He's portrayed that way, but he's technically not.
Right. And so there's always a catch, right?
Mhm.
We saw it with Anthony Ramos's character, the Hood. There was the catch, right?
Yeah.
The Hood starts to kind of overtake him, and that's kind of what causes that whole conflict and everything. Gets all these riches, but then he turns into a piece of shit. So what's the catch here? Did he trick Riri into making a deal? And Riri thinks it was like jokingly, like, yeah, whatever, let's make a deal.
I
You
think
can't do this.
Riri. I think the continuation of it is Riri's going to go to Strange and ask Strange to help her get out of the deal. Like I think whatever Doctor Strange 2 or whatever the events coming up, either maybe Secret Wars erases the deal or she's going to ask Strange to help in Doctor Strange 3 and try and undo everything. And you're going to see Strange versus Mephisto there. I don't know. It's interesting the direction of the MCU, especially with Mephisto and where they go, if they even continue to use him. I think they're going to, and he's going to play a big part in the overall continuation of the MCU. I think they're stupid if they don't, but who knows? I just know it makes a lot of things more interesting now, especially like in the world of Spider-Man.
Yeah, especially like it's interesting how many lines Mephisto can cross now that we know in Spider-Man Punisher is going to be there, which more than likely means Matt Murdock is going to be in Spider-Man at some point. And then you have now that opens the door for D'Onofrio, Kingpin, to be in Spider. Like there's all these kind of worlds that have been separate for so long that now, does Mephisto introduce himself to Kingpin? And Kingpin, you know what I mean? Like, is there something that can happen in the Daredevil world? Is there something that can happen, with Doctor Strange?
Yeah,
I find it interesting. I find it interesting that Riri would go to Doctor Strange to kind of undo it when we kind of saw that in No Way Home. Would he make that decision, make that mistake again?
You see him undo. Undo it is when I say undo it as far as Riri goes, I think like she goes to Doctor Strange because she's part of this magic world too, and that show is supposed to connect into the Strange Academy show that was shelved because there is
with the introduction of what's that girl with the glasses?
Yeah, she's in Strange Academy. Her character is a character in Strange Academy. And so it was supposed to connect into there. So I would think that she would go to Riri would go to her, who would introduce her to Wong, who would introduce her to Strange along that line for kind of like the battle of Riri's soul. So I think at some point he's gonna show up to collect, and this brings into like Ghost Rider because Mephisto is really the first person to create the Ghost Rider. So it plays into Mephisto's going to play into a lot of different things. But I almost wonder if she goes to Strange as like to help her in the battle for her soul against Mephisto.
Yeah, dude, Ghost Rider being introduced. That's been too long. They need to bring Ghost Rider in. If this opens the door for Ghost Rider, I don't care anything they did before this. Whatever mistakes they made, whatever, just bring me Ghost Rider. It's like one of my favorite characters. I was trying to figure out that girl's name. Regan Aaliyah plays Zelma.
Yes, so you are right. Peter does have a vision of his future daughter, Mayday Parker, and he has to, contemplate giving that up. So you are right.
Yeah, I thought I remember that from the book that he had a daughter or a vision of her or something. He saw what his life could be.
Yeah.
If he didn't pull that deal. And then it kind of adds to the not selfishness, the selflessness of what he's given up in order to get Aunt May back. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I
Iron Man
think
was
it's
good.
I think it's more selfishness than anything because he's sacrificing the life of his daughter and his relationship with Mary Jane for the essentially returning an elderly woman who's probably only got like 5-10 years left anyways back to life. So he's sacrificing a lot selfishly for the return of Aunt May. But
Yeah, what is it from Friends? Joey says there's no every selfless act has a little bit of selfishness in it. Like you could see both
yeah,
avenues. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a toss up with this Marvel stuff, man. Like where they could go. I just saw Moon Knight season 2 was announced.
I think that's fake.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think that's fake. Marvel's doubling down on the Disney Plus stuff. Um that's why Strange Academy was shelved and the Nova show was shelved. I think they'd move forward with making those two shows before they ever made Moon Knight season 2.
But the Punisher special event thing is still happening, right?
Yeah, that's gonna happen next year before it leads into Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's just a one-off. From what my understanding is, it's just a one-off thing, like Werewolf by Night was, where it's kind of like that Marvel Spotlight one-shot type deal. Is what I think that is what and my understanding is that that's going to be.
Yeah, it's like it's like a TV movie almost.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
not in quality, but as far as length, aren't they like an hour long and
something like that. Yeah,
special presentations? Isn't that what they call them?
yeah. Spotlight
Yeah,
special presentation, same.
yeah. The Guardians of the Galaxy winter special was the same way.
Christmas
I'd be
special. Yeah.
okay. I'd be okay if they did a lot of those. Like I'd like to see Nova in that respect, or a Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes type
Nah,
thing.
you gotta go OG Ghost Rider, not Robbie Reyes.
Yeah, but they already have the actor. They already
You need
had him in Shield.
yeah, but still, like you gotta go
Oh,
Johnny Blaze.
I agree. I want Johnny Blaze, but if they did like these one
And I mean
shots,
like Norman Reedus Johnny Blaze or Keanu Reeves Johnny Blaze.
yeah, I don't know. I'm so excited for Ghost Rider. I hope that happens. They have that money sitting right there, dude, and I don't know why they haven't pulled the trigger yet.
There's talk about Midnight Suns movie, so
Now that they have everybody, Like the only one they don't really have full control of yet is Spider-Man, right?
right, yeah. And there's already talks that Sony might be trying to sell Spider-Man back to them because they have to make so many movies and they've shelved all of their Spider-Man spin-off stuff except for Across the Spider-Verse. So they're all their live action. I think they
Disney
will.
does it.
I think so. They'd be ridiculous not to.
When do you think it's going to get to the point where Disney sells Marvel?
Never. That's their moneymaker right there, boy.
Yeah, but these last few movies haven't really made them a ton of money.
Regardless, they're making more money than any Disney Pixar thing is. When's the last time Disney released other than Lilo and Stitch? Lilo and Stitch made them good money, but I don't
Inside
think
Out too.
Yeah, but that was animated. I'm talking like that's Pixar also, but
Live action.
yeah.
I don't know. What has Disney come out with?
Like I don't ever see them selling Marvel. Like Marvel's stock would have to tank big time for Disney to try to fire sale them.
Yeah.
Because like look at what was the one they've got the Hulk show coming out that you showed me where Mark from Blink-182 did the theme song for that.
Oh, the Iron Man and Friends or
Iron
whatever.
Man and Friends, that's what it is. I was thinking Hulk because Amadeus Cho is in it.
Yeah.
Iron Man and Friends, and then they've got the Spider-Man show, the kids Spider-Man show that's on there.
Oh,
got
Spider-Man and his amazing friends. I think
yeah,
is
and
what
they
it's called.
got Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur was a Disney show.
Is that still
I think
active?
it's still going, yeah. And then so they've got a lot of Marvel, a lot of like ties wrapped up and of course they've got like, you know, the Marvel Avengers campus and all that at their theme parks now. I think they'll never sell Marvel. That's a property that they're gonna hold on to for
Well, yeah, maybe they don't sell like the I don't know. Disney doesn't really ever sell anything off, do they?
not really.
Well, I mean, they had Power Rangers at one point. They sold that off.
Yeah. Which is weird because it's still hot property, but
Yeah, Saban bought it, or Saban, or however you say his name, bought it back from them and then sold it to Hasbro, I think.
yep.
Is what I remember correctly.
Yep.
I'm trying to see, what was that show that I liked that was on
Runaways.
Runaways? Dude, I want them to bring Runaways back.
Hmm.
How did you know I was thinking Runaways?
Because I was trying to think of any other like live action Disney or Marvel show. When you're like, when it's on, I was like, oh, the only one would be Hulu, so it has to be Runaways or MODOK
Or Cloak and Dagger? Wasn't that
or
Hulu?
I think so. I can't remember.
Oh,
Or
Hellstrom.
Hitmonkey.
Hellstrom was on there. That did not last very long. Runaways was badass, dude.
Yeah, it was all right. It got lame after a while.
It got very WB at the last
yeah.
season, I think, but I'd like them to bring back Runaways. Well, no, what made me think of that was you said Moon Knight or Moon Devil Girl. What's it called?
Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah, that they're in Runaways, right?
Yeah. No, she's not. I don't think she's technically Moon Girl. There's a girl in the Runaways that can talk to dinosaurs. I don't necessarily think she's Moon Girl.
Is that dinosaur, not Devil Dinosaur or whatever?
No, I don't think so. I might be wrong though. I don't know.
I don't know. I liked the show. Cloak and Dagger wasn't bad either. But whatever.
I don't really remember anything from Cloak and Dagger, to be honest with you.
I watched it. I liked it. But weren't they first introduced in Runaways?
Dude, I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen the Runaways TV show.
I'll remember is Spike from Buffy was in it.
Yeah, he was
James
the dude's
Marsters.
dad.
So what's your rating on Ironheart?
I gave Ironheart a solid probably 7 out of 10.
I think, yeah. I'm on those lines, 7 out of 10. I went into it thinking it was going to be a 2 out of 10. You know?
Yeah.
And it was a lot better than I thought. I'd be interested to see what Max thought, because he really was not sold after that first episode.
Oh, and I wasn't either. Like it was hard to get through the first episode. So like after the first episode, it's like, man, all right, I don't really know about this. But she I mean, once the first episode was done, I thought it picked up nicely.
Yeah, it definitely found itself. So we don't have. So I'm looking through this list now that Ironheart's done. Of course, we got Daredevil Born Again season 2, and then Wonder Man. Do you think that's going to be any good?
I don't know. I'm on the fence about Wonder Man. I don't really know much about the character, to be fully transparent. So I'm kind of like, I'm sure I'll watch the first episode. But we'll see.
I don't like that actor. That's the actor that played in Aquaman.
Yeah, he plays Black Manta in Aquaman.
I thought he was awful as Black Manta. He's so wooden, and we'll see how he does. And then Vision Quest is the other one.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by Vision Quest. I don't really like the fact that they're gonna bring like all of the AIs in the show to be physical people. So like Jarvis is gonna be a physical person, and then so is I think Friday, and I think Ultron also. And I don't necessarily think
Wasn't
that's
Jarvis
a good
just
idea, but
Vision? Jarvis is Vision, right? I don't
the
understand.
actor is, yeah, the actor is Vision, but um, from what I remember reading, that they're gonna actually have like the physical human form of Jarvis instead of the Vision form of Jarvis.
Oh, from Agent Carter, that Jarvis.
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna be the same person.
Well, I
Like
thought Jarvis was downloaded into Vision,
he
and
was.
that's
It's just it's weird the way they're gonna do it. Like they're making all these AIs have physical human bodies. So
interesting. So, who are these other people? So I see. Oh, the girl from um Schitt's Creek is in it.
yeah, I think she plays Friday.
Oh, is she Friday?
Yeah, I believe so.
Paul Bettany as Vision, James Spader as Ultron.
Yeah, because like I said, they're gonna have the physical.
Oh,
Uh,
Emily Hampshire as Edith.
oh, is it she? Oh, that's wait. Which one was Edith? Was the glasses? That's right.
Yeah, the one that
Friday, because Friday
Spider-Man.
was his second AI. I thought she was gonna be. I thought there was gonna be someone in there's Friday, but yeah, Edith was the glasses. So that makes sense.
So more than likely, if this movie's made, because it says Raza, okay, Frank Tahir reprises his role as Raza, the leader of the Ten Rings faction that kidnapped Stark in the film Iron Man. Raza was seemingly killed by Obadiah Stane in that film. I'm interested to see the what involvement, speaking of Ironheart, that Han Solo, what's that kid's name? Played Solo. He's Obadiah Stane's son.
Yeah.
Zeke. Ezekiel
Ezekiel
Stane.
Stain. I thought you were looking for the actual like actor's name.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how they use him in the future. I thought he was really interesting. Ezekiel Stane.
Yeah, I'm interested in that as well. Like I said, I like the stuff coming out of Ironheart. So
Yeah, I just hope they, you know, because Moon Knight didn't do very well, and we haven't seen Moon Knight since. So I hope if Ironheart doesn't get good reviews, that they don't just abandon all these people. You know.
yeah,
So, but yeah, man, are you excited for Fantastic Four?
I am super stoked for Fantastic Four. Looking forward to it big time. We talked a little bit about that earlier. I hope it's good. I'm interested to see how it kind of we launch into Phase 6 here. Since Fantastic Four is the start of Phase 6, how we're going to launch into the coming to the end of the multiverse saga and kind of what they do with that. So
Do you think they're going to recast Kang?
no, I think they're done with Kang.
But there was like no, they're not. They're just going to leave that open ended, huh?
Well, I mean, it's not really open ended if you think about it, because the end of Loki season 2, they kind of you could say that wraps up the whole Kang storyline, because what need is there for Kang now that Loki
Yeah.
sits at the end of time?
But don't you have that? Was it in Loki where you had that thing with all the different Kangs?
Yeah, you had the Council of Kangs and all that. I thought that was um Ant-Man Wasp Quantumania.
Oh, is that Ant-Man?
Yeah.
I think that's where they went wrong. They could have continued the Kang thing if they didn't just have what's his face play every version of him. Kang doesn't have to look the same.
Yeah, but I think too nobody was really high on Kang the Conqueror. He wasn't that massive threat like Thanos was. So I think people were really kind of down on the character overall. And
He could be though. Kang
going
was
to
badass in
Doom,
the comics.
yeah, but going to Doom seems to have like revitalized the MCU. Like it's been like a shot in the arm of the MCU. So now it's more like a wait till we get there type
Yeah.
situation now. But it's like there's so much hype around Doom and Robert Downey Jr. coming back and how they're going to pull this off and things like that. So I don't know. I think moving away from Kang to Doom was a good choice.
Well, they're definitely Robert Downey Jr. is definitely gonna be at the end of this movie, right? Fantastic Four.
If you believe the leaks, Doom is, yes. I don't believe it's Robert. I don't believe it's Robert Downey Jr. Like I think it's somebody. It's like one of those situations, much like the Hawkeye one, where it's somebody else portraying that character. We don't actually see his face.
Oh yeah, like they did at the end of what was it, Avengers or whatever, Thanos. They didn't have Josh Brolin casted yet.
Right.
It's just like a CGI type thing or somebody behind a mask or something.
Because I mean, I've heard the rumor about what the end credit scene for Fantastic Four is, so
I'm excited.
I don't want to
see it opening night.
I don't want to spoil people who don't want it spoiled, but
yeah, man, it's good. It was good to do this podcast again, dude. It's been a while.
It has been a while.
So we're on track to do it again.
Yeah, whenever, man. I'm always putting stuff together. It's more of a you showing up than me.
It's hard, dude. Lately I've been a taxi cab driver for my kids, so I'm like always freaking gone somewhere.
It's more of trying to get you to actually answer a text message than it is me, my friend. I
hate texting more than anything.
I know, but and you don't even answer your phone if somebody calls you. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, it was fun, man. But sure. I might go see Spider-Man again or Superman again this week.
Yeah, go see Spider-Man again.
I think my boys want to go see Superman.
There you go. But all right, I think that'll be it for us this week. Thank you so much for everyone hanging in there. I hope you guys let us know in the comment section below what you thought of Superman. If you want more from this channel, check out any of our previous podcasts that'll be linked here, as well as our individual videos. And on that note, I'm sure we'll see you all again real soon. Maybe one of us will. I don't know. I can't speak for Lance.
I know for sure I'm coming on to talk Fantastic Four. So
Lance is a little wishy-washy, but
flaky.
Yeah. On that note, we'll see you guys next time.